This podcast discusses paranormal activity and other topics some might find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised.
Is it a chill or a ghostly breeze? A knock, a tap, what do you believe? Ghosts, gossip, gather around where the lost and the haunted are found. Ghosts, gossip, don't make a sound. Truth or tales, we'll dig it out.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Ghost Gossip. Today we have a special guest with us. We have Michael with Las Vegas Soul Searchers. Hey, Michael.
Hey, how's it going today?
It's good. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's good being retired.
Well, that's awesome. I'm kind of retired, but I'm not old enough to call myself retired, so I'm just like, I'm unemployed.
Well, I'll be 62 in a few months.
Okay. I'm not 62, but
That's
I'm unemployed.
a good way to be.
Yeah, I'm blessed. It really is lovely not to have to go in. I worked for the federal court for a really long time, so it was a lot for almost, 15 years. So it was like I'm okay not doing that anymore.
Yeah, I worked for the Federal Bureau of Prisons for a minute.
Ah, I feel you there. I dealt with the Bureau of Prisons a lot.
Yeah, that's why I went to the sheriff's department.
Okay. Yeah, well, you same people, just different levels.
Different levels.
So you are in one of my favorite cities in the entire world. I love Vegas.
I like it where I'm at. I don't like it down on the strip. I stay away unless I go unless I go to a show or something. I try to avoid that place.
I bet
Maybe.
living there is different than visiting.
Well, yeah, once you live here and you start going down there, you're just done with all the crowds and everything. And I live far enough away. I'm probably about, depending on traffic, about 15 minutes from the strip. I live up in the
Mhm.
northwest area of Las Vegas. So it's like just living in any other city up here. It's not like you don't
Right,
feel like you're in Vegas.
right. Yeah, I was there in July. I come about once a year, and I'm coming back in December. And I come for shows, and just the shows are so different. They're just so big.
Well, yeah, I was just down on the 11th, the Stevie Nicks concert at T-Mobile. I'll go down there for concerts and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah.
I actually got backstage and got to meet her.
No!
Yeah, my ghost hunting partner, we call her my paranormal wife, not my wife, but my paranormal wife. She's got an interesting story, and that's how she knows the manager, the producer of the Stevie Nicks's. So he got us good seats, like only like 10 rows from the stage, and got to go backstage for a minute and actually meet her. No pictures because she has like a injured shoulder, so it was in a sling or a brace and everything. So there was no pictures, but I actually got to meet her.
That is so cool. I love her so
Oh
much.
yeah. Ever since the back, I was 13 years old in '77 when the Rumors album came back, and then from the picture on the back, I've been in love with her my whole life. Kind of my celebrity crush.
I love it. Well, I mean, that's a good one to have. If anybody, it's Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks.
We're in South Carolina, and she came to this area, gosh, 2 years ago, and I went to her concert, and I was just in awe. I mean, she's just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, she's 77 years old and she still sounds great. So
I
it
know,
was,
just like on the record.
yep. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was stoked that I got to go backstage.
Yeah, that
So,
is a core memory for sure.
yep, definitely. And I've been to a lot of concerts here, but that's top of my list. It was my all-time favorite throughout my life.
Oh, I bet. So we actually got married out there. Very cliche, we eloped in Vegas, but it was absolutely the best time of my life. And my husband proposed on a Thursday. We flew out Friday morning. We got married Saturday. And while we were there, we went to the T-Mobile Arena for the iHeartRadio concert while we were there. And it
Oh,
was
yeah.
incredible. That place, the energy is palpable.
It's a good venue. It's really good.
It's a, it really is. Like, So tell me a little bit about you and what you do with Las Vegas Soul Searchers.
Well, we're just a small paranormal team. There's 3 of us, and I like to keep it more intimate than having big crowd, so we can plan things and there's not a whole bunch of chaos in trying to plan things. It's only 3 people. And we'll investigate pretty much anywhere. So lately we've been doing what we call some house calls. Like one of
Oh,
Kelly's friend
cool.
yeah, one of Kelly's friends says she's her hairdresser, matter of fact, had a said for a while now, she's feel sometimes during the night, she feels like something touches her. So we
Mhm,
went and did her house, and we got some pretty interesting stuff there. And then we're gonna head to Simi Valley. Another friend of hers, she knew because her husband was like worked for a lot of major acts back in the day, and
mhm.
so she knows a lot of. And this guy is in the music industry, so he says his grandson's been having issues at his house and he really wants us to come out there. So we're planning on going out to Simi Valley to do that. My son called me up last weekend and said that my grandson, who's close to 2 now, in his times he's in his room and he's just like staring into space and all of a sudden he'll say bye. And they're
Oh, no.
hearing yeah, they're hearing noises and stuff, and my son said he saw a shadow out of the corner of his eye, so we he called me and said, "We wanna do this tonight, we wanna figure out what's going on," and I went to his house last weekend, and it was just me, everybody else was busy, and, we got some serious evidence that it possibly ties it to his wife, my daughter-in-law's family, maybe like her
Oh,
grandma. There was this thing where she said she called her grandma. I use paralanterns and I use tripwires and I use all this stuff. And I had
yeah.
one sitting in the hallway with the tripwire going from the bedroom to the stairs, the other paralantern in the middle of the hallway. I had a paralantern in the baby's crib. I had one on the other bed sitting next to the baby's crib, and I had one on the dresser. And she said they call her Gima or something like that. But she said Gima, and every single one of them, even though they were spread out, starts lighting up. And
Oh
it was
my gosh.
pretty crazy, yeah. So,
That's wild.
we're starting to do some I call them house calls. We're starting to do that, and we've been to the Washoe Club in Virginia City, we've done hotel rooms here in Vegas, we're planning another one where I'm not gonna say where or anything because I don't wanna put it out there until we actually get it booked and stuff, but where a husband actually killed his wife in the room. All the
Oh,
blood
no.
evidence showed that she was dismembered in that room, but the body was never found. So we're trying to book that room because we wanna do an investigation of that room. And we
Oh, I
pretty
can't
much
wait to hear about that.
yeah, I'll be posting it evidence once we get it's hard to get the room. We gotta go down there and actually request the room, and
Mhm.
if they don't have it available, then we gotta wait and go back another day. They won't because it's a standard room, they won't book it online. We can't reserve it online, so we gotta go down there and hopefully we one day we can it'll be available and we can book it. So that's on the list. We do ghost towns. I'm planning one to go to Arizona. There's an old ghost town down there. I just was reading about called Two Guns. So that's you can be out there in the middle of the night and it's open. We did Rayolite and I did the Omen House and we did the Omen House in Beverly Hills. And I did the Goldfield Hotel and the Goldfield High School. I did the Goldfield Hotel a few years ago with Nick Groff, the from previous
Oh!
ventures, yeah. And Kelly and I did a group thing. We spent 3 nights in the Goldfield Hotel plus the old mine there in Goldfield. Pretty crazy stuff going on there. And so we go everywhere. We just try to book it. So Vegas is very hard because a lot of people that have places like the hotels and stuff, or even the Pioneer Saloon, they charge and it's groups. So the
Oh.
Saloon's so small and you don't want to pay they were charging like $150 an hour or something like that. But
Oh
you
my
get
goodness.
you get more than 3 or 4 people in this saloon. It's just not worth it because all the interference and all the noise and it's just so small. So that's what we do. I have all my stuff's on all my stuff's on YouTube and TikTok and Facebook, so anybody wants interested, they can see it there. I don't do production videos per se. I just basically do evidence. I'll show my evidence and I'll just throw evidence. Like my son's house, I did it in 3 parts. I did
Mhm.
5 minutes of what we got, and I cut it down and just show the evidence. And then I did a 14-minute SP7 spirit box session at his house. And when I played it back when I got home, got I did online. I put it out there. I got 15 possible different responses that I can't explain in that 15 minutes from the spirit box. So it's very interesting. So my stuff's not production. I just throw out the evidence and I tell you what I think. And I let people, if they want to comment and tell me what they think, I appreciate it. I just don't like the negativity. So just comment,
Right.
constructive criticism. I'm okay with that. So that's
Yeah, I
basically the Las
agree.
Vegas Soul Searchers.
Well, that's so cool. How long did you say how long you've been doing this?
Well, it's interesting because I was always I never believed in ghosts. I was always one of those, "Oh, that's BS and this and this."
Right.
Like my son, my youngest son, I say young, my younger son, he's like 20, gonna be 29, but he grew up watching Ghost Adventures. And I'd sit there with him and I'd watch it, and just the reactions on their, how they react to things. In my
Yeah,
mind,
yeah.
I'm going, "Oh, that's BS." I never believed in
Right.
it, and my son liked it, so I never said anything out loud. I didn't wanna harsh his thing. And then even working in the prisons and jails, people would say, "Hey, I just had this happen. I heard this and I saw this." And I say, "You know what? It's graveyard shift. You guys are just delirious. It's late and you guys are tired." And so I was always like the bah humbug guy. "No, you guys are
It's
full
just
of."
a
Yeah,
bug. You're
exactly.
fine.
So So, anyways, a friend of mine who was already doing it, he retired and then he was talking to me about it. And so when I retired, I said, "Okay, I want to do something with you. I want to witness this for myself. I want to see what's
Uh-huh.
going on. I'm going to be open minded about it. I've spent years being a skeptic. I want to see what all this hoopla about the paranormal is." And
Mhm.
so my first major investigation with my buddy was at the Clown Motel in Tonopah, Nevada. And
Oh.
and so that was very first. I didn't know anything. Was had so I don't have as much equipment now or back then that I have now. So I just had some basic stuff, spirit box, K2 meter, digital
Mhm.
voice recorder, but he had more of the equipment. Long story short, we went in there, took our equipment in, and just take it in the room, and then we're gonna go get something to eat. Well, I just reached in my pocket and realized I had some trash in there, and I just walked nonchalantly over the trash can to throw the trash in the garbage can, and like, boom! It felt like I just walked into a big wall of energy. My jaws just started tingling. My hair on my
Yeah.
arms were standing up. I turned around and freaked out. I go, "Paul, Paul, what is this? What's going on here?" And he goes, "What's going on?" Well, look at my arms. My face just feels like it's going numb. I just felt like I walked into something. And he's like, "Wow." You just probably walked into. So that was my first experience. And then later on, when we did the investigation, we were using the SLS camera, and there was a mirror right above the sink where the trash can was. And I'm not kidding. All night long, it looked like figures on the SLS jumping in and out of that mirror like it was a portal. And I mean, it was
Oh,
different all the
wow.
time. It was just all different. And then a couple of them, we'd say, "Wave your hand," and then you could see it going like this on the stick figure. And we're going, well, I'm going, wow, man. So that intrigued me to dig deeper and deeper into it. And then my next major investigation with Paul was not sh was shortly after that, was the Jamestown Hotel in California. The video is on my thing, and I don't know, I can't explain it, I don't remember any of it, but apparently I had a possession. So, yeah, it was I mean, in the video, you can see him, they're over the top of me, like, dousing me in the holy water and saying the prayer of Saint Michael, and I'm not even there. And the first thing when I kinda came to, I'm, like, looking around, I don't hear anybody around me, I'm just looking around, going like this, and then you hear Paul in the background go, "Mike, Mike, are you there? Mike, are you back?" And I'm looking around, I don't hear him at the time, and then he said it again, and I kinda and I said, "What the F just happened?" I was almost in tears. I'm going, "What the F just
Yeah.
happened?" And then Paul said, "You were possessed." And that's all I know. So I don't know anything that happened from the time I was down in the basement. I don't even remember how I got from the basement up to the area where the bar is, and it's just right up the stairs around the corner. And so I don't remember any of that. So
Wow.
it was all nuts. And then Couple years later, a producer from Ghost Adventures called me and said, "Hey, we're going to Jamestown. Would you be interested in going there?" Because apparently one of the other teams that were there, they posted the video on their, TikTok,
Mm,
and it got like
right.
400,000 views or something like that. So they got a hold of that video, requested I come back, and I said, Yeah, I'll come if you need me." And so they said, "Okay." So a year later, I still hadn't heard anything, and then not long after, about a year later, they called me, say, "We're going to Jamestown. Are you still interested? Would you come back?" And I did. And I said, "Okay." So I went. I was there, they asked me to go downstairs with them, and so I had to walk out. So whatever it is, was still affecting me, so I just said, "I'm out of here," and I walked out, and I refused to go back in there, and to this day, that's one place I'll never go back into. Something there doesn't like me, and I've never had this happen to me before, so I'm okay with not going back there. The second time 3 years later and whatever's still affecting me, I'm cool with that. I won't go back there.
You're like, "I'm good. I'm good. Y'all
Uh,
go. Y'all have a great time."
yeah, peace out. But I
So
don't
that was the
have
place for you that you were like, "Okay."
yeah, that's one of my place that I'm done with. I won't ever go back in there. So it's and people could go in there and they don't feel anything and they don't have anything
Right.
happen to them. But I go in there and that first time that happens, I go back 3 years later and I can feel already getting affected. Like I just
Mhm.
didn't want to be there. But it was
Mm,
Ghost Adventures and I wanted to try it, but I had to walk out. Even being
yeah.
on that show, I couldn't stay.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, and then it's like, mm-mm, not worth it. I'm good."
I'm good. And, I still see I still see Jay once in a while, so it's all good.
Have
Is there
you
some
ever been Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Have you ever been to Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum?
I actually worked there for 8 months.
Did you?
Yeah, I was security there for, like, 8 months, and then
What do you
I was retired, and so I wanted to find something to, you know, keep me going, and then it was just one of those things where, "Okay, I'm retired, I don't have to deal with" the crap of just I just said, I'm done. I'm not gonna deal with it." So, I was there for 8 months, and it was very interesting. I loved interacting with the guests because a lot of people that go there are happy to be there, fun environment, and so it was fun interacting with the guests and everything, and being in the house sometimes at night when it closes down was kinda eerie, but yeah, I love
Yeah.
that place. I recommend anybody that's into the paranormal or just true crime and artifacts, go there. He's got
Yes.
a lot of very interesting stuff in that house, and even though it didn't work out for me working there, I highly recommend it. They also have what they call the flashlight tour on Friday and Saturday nights is after-hour tour,
Oh.
and it's a little pricey, but I've done it 3 times. It's only 20 people allowed in the house, so they only book 20 people, and if they don't get the full 20 people, the whole house is opened up to the group. If they get the 20 people, it's 45 minutes on the 10, 45 minutes on half the house, and then they swap. So you get 2 groups, 45 minutes on each side of the house. But what's cool about the flashlight tour is the tour guides are there, but there's only 2 of them in the common areas. So say you and I were a paranormal group, it was just you and I, we could go
Mhm.
into any one of the rooms, shut the door, and nobody else out of the 20 would be allowed in there while you're investigating. So
Oh.
it was yeah, so you're doing an investigation and you can do it by yourself. I mean, a couple of the rooms had a 15-minute time limit, but the most of it was just being there as long as you want. And so we got a lot of good stuff there too, a lot of creepy things going on there. So if you're interested, I recommend personally the flashlight tour. And I'm in no way affiliated with the haunted museum. It's just my personal recommendation. So
We went for my 40th birthday, and it was my poor parents, they think I'm so weird. I am their little weirdo, They're just like, "We love her. She's weird. Let's go. We'll go with you, whatever." And it was really interesting. I don't know if I'd go back. It was just one of those, like, it was a lot. It was just a lot. And I will say I am sensitive. I didn't feel anything while I was there except in the Indiana demons stairs.
oh, the demon
I f
house, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I felt something there, but when we left, my brother-in-law, who's also sensitive, he heard, like, drums in, like, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning after that time after, and then I heard chanting. Like, you know, the music that they play on the speaker?
Yeah.
I heard that music in our hotel room, and I thought my husband was humming, so I went to go check on I was like, "Where is that coming from?" He wasn't humming, he was just washing his head, and then nothing else happened, but when we got back from Vegas, when we got home, both him and I had horrible nightmares that week after we got back, like, so bad, he won't even tell me what his nightmare was about. Mine
So
was horrific, but his was so bad.
something followed you. Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you do a cleansing or anything?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we've cleansed. I was doing a TikTok talking about it, and on the video, I'm sitting in my bathroom. You can see, like, my sink behind me, and my toothbrush fell out of the cup while I was talking about that experience. I just got full body chills. Ugh. But, yeah, I was like, "That was insane. That was intense." The after, like, while we were there, it was just a lot of walking. True crime memorabilia was incredible.
Oh,
Like, the
yeah.
stuff in there I'm a true crime junkie, I love true crime, but it was when we got home, the nightmares, it was like, "Okay, that's intense."
Yeah. It's like at the Jamestown Hotel, right? Um, they obviously saw how it affected me because I said I'm done and I walked out. Well, later on in the evening out in the parking lot, Billy Tolley walks up to me and he goes, "Have you ever used Palo Santo?" Yeah, Palo
Palo
Santo.
Santo.
Yeah, and I said, "No." And he goes, "Well, I'm gonna show you. I have some here, and I'm gonna tell you what to do." He goes, "You really need to cleanse yourself after every investigation."
Yeah,
So he said he lit it up and got it smoking. He started, doing his thing around me, and he goes, "I want you to forcefully say that you don't give it permission to use your body. You don't give it permission to follow you home. Just forcefully, forcefully." And I started doing that, and he looked at me. He goes, "Are you feeling it?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm just getting like tingling through my whole body, head to toe, right now." So
yeah,
from that day on, because paranormal investigating is always a continuous learning experience for me,
yes,
so from that day on, I cleanse myself every day. If I don't do it right after the investigation, I do it before I come to walk into my house. So
yeah.
it
I
seems to
think
be
it's a
working.
very common mistake that we all make when we start.
Yep. So,
It's like, "I don't
and
see
that's what,
anything, I'm good."
yeah, that's what I think the Jamestown Hotel was. Because the first night we were down in the basement, and let me start by saying this hotel used to be a hospital back in late 1800s, early 1900s. So the basement was the morgue of this hospital.
Oh.
So the first night I went down there and there was like 4 of us down there and couldn't really do anything. It's not a big area. It's big enough, but 4 people down there, it's hard to conduct your own thing. So the next night, everybody's sitting up in the bar, and I remember walking down there, and in the corner is this big walk-in reefer. And behind the walk-in reefer, there's a space probably just wide enough for somebody to walk behind and go back to the corner of the basement. So I go, I'm going to go back there and do an EVP session behind this reefer. Well, I started walking back there and it felt like something made me stop in my tracks. I don't know. It was a feeling. I don't want to say
Mhm.
voices in my head, but something made me say, don't go back there. And I was new. I mean, I'm not familiar with this. So, like a dummy, and I walked back there, and that's the last thing I remember. The next thing I remember, I'm waking up upstairs in the bar dining area.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is intense, that is intense. I can't even imagine. I have something in my house. I I have stuff with me all the time because I'm sensitive, I'm just kinda like and because I I've been I do not call myself a psychic medium. I have been told that's what I am. I am not comfortable saying that about myself because I don't know. Anyway, I just attract them and they're around me all the time. In my house, ever since I've been working on my abilities, my house has been extremely active with stuff just happening.
Yeah.
And yesterday or the day before, one of the two, I think it was yesterday, I was in here and there's just knocking all the time, knocks all around me when I'm in here. And I went into the bonus room because I was hearing them really loud in there. And as I was like hearing them, they moved around me. So they were started on one wall and they just kind of moved around me. And I'm like, you have my attention. Like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden I was overwhelmed with just these painful chills. And then I just started to cry. It was just so much, just like instant energy. And then it was gone. And it was just like, y'all, can y'all really just, like, leave my house be? Can this not be my safe place?
See that? Me personally, I don't wanna I haven't heard anything, I don't see anything, I don't wanna investigate my house, you know? I just let it be. I don't want to find something I don't wanna know about here, you know? So, as long as it's quiet, I'm cool. So, but
Right.
yeah.
Well, I had a haunted house, and it was not this house, it was our house before, and it was very active all the time, and living in it is a lot. It's just the anxiety. It's just like that different feel in the air. It's like constant happening, constant energy, and that is not yours. It's exhausting. And even though I loved that house, I am glad I don't live there anymore because it is definitely a different feel than a house that's not haunted.
I had weird things happen, like, my son from California came to visit me one time, and I go, "Let's go upstairs, I wanna show you some of this equipment I just bought," right? So I just bought the Ovilus 5, so that was one
Oh,
piece, so
cool.
yeah, I turned it on, you know, it fires up, and then we're upstairs in my room, my son's here. The first 2 words out of the Ovilus was, "Upstairs, son," and I'm going, "Okay," I turned it off and I said, "I don't wanna know, I'm not gonna dig in any further." My son's eyes
I'm
got
good.
really big, I'm done with this. I'll
Mhm.
show you what I got, but I ain't turning anything on.
Not turning shit on. It's staying off. Let's take the batteries out. We're done for the day. Well, one of my girlfriends is a paranormal investigator in South Carolina, and she's like, "Ashley, please let me investigate your house. Please let me investigate your house." And I was like, "No, I live here." But once we moved out, we investigated it. It was incredible. It was very active. He's always active, but he did not disappoint. With here, I don't really investigate here. Like it's just knocks constant. It's noise, our Alexas are coming on. I had my got home the other day and my studio lights were on and they never come on, and so they were on. So, I mean, like, we're starting to have more activity, but I won't say that this is haunted. It's not haunted like my last house. It's just it's me.
You They're following you home.
Yeah, they're trying to communicate and I'm learning and I'm trying to set the boundaries and the intentions and doing all that, It's just it is a learning. It's a constant learning process when you're dealing with the unknown.
Yeah. Well, I find out the more I do this, the more sensitive I become to
Oh, yeah.
energy, and, like, when I first started, I walked the clown motel, I walked into it, and I didn't know what the heck that was, you know? But
Mhm.
now I'm starting to feel about a year ago, I started feeling emotions. So, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
there's been
yeah.
a couple investigations where I'm doing the investigation, and it just started breaking down in tears, crying for no reason at all, and I don't know why
Yeah.
I'm crying, you know? And just like we were doing the Omen House, and I don't know if you're familiar with the David Omen House, but
I'm not, but I'm taking notes.
that's on Cielo Drive. And his house is maybe 25 yards away from the front gate of the Sharon Tate property.
Oh,
So
wow.
his house is very active, and I've been there 3 times, and the 3rd time I went, we were sitting down. The house is upstairs is the main level. That's where you come into the house and the garage, and then the house goes down the side of the hill, so it's reversed like upstairs. The bottom floor is the bottom, the top floor is the main. But so, we were down there on the 3rd level, and, I had the paralantern out. I had a couple, other K2 meters and other devices, and I was trying to communicate specifically with Sharon Tate, and we weren't getting
Right.
nothing, and it was pretty quiet. And then one of the gals I was with that was there with us, it was another married couple. She brings up the crime scene photos of the murders, and then she hands the phone to me because I'm right by the equipment, and I mean, the equipment's probably a couple arm lengths away from me, and it just starts going nuts. Everything's
Oh,
going
no.
off, and then, um, put the phone down, it quieted down, brought the pictures back up, and it starts going nuts again, and then somebody goes, "You don't like the photos," and it starts going crazy again. "Is this Sharon Tate?" And it starts going crazy, and then we were probably 20 minutes into this little session there, and I was feeling sick, and I had to push myself away from the table, and I had to go
Mm.
outside and get some air. It was just so overwhelming, the energy, and I started feeling what was weird, it was a sad emotion, but it was also angry emotion. So
Yeah, I bet.
I just had to push myself away from and go outside and get some air and regenerate, but that was pretty intense.
Yeah, I think everybody is sensitive, it's just whether you're open to it or not, you know what I mean? And I think when you start doing it and you start having experiences and you're like, "Oh, shit, okay, there is something we cannot see and we cannot explain," and then you become more open, and then you start sensing more, and that definitely sounds like what's happened.
And that's why I like, ghost hunting with Kelly because she doesn't really feel anything, and she doesn't I mean, I could be almost sick to my stomach and she won't feel anything, but when she does feel stuff, I know we actually have something and it's just not me. So, I like having her there as my triggered object because when she starts feeling it, we have something because she doesn't feel anything. Like, she's easily spooked. She's funny. Like, there's I have a video up where we're at the Natural History Museum here in Las Vegas, and she's in a
Mhm,
room, and she goes, "Can you knock on something for me?" And you hear a knock, right? And then
mhm.
she goes, "Wow, thank you. Can you do that again?" And right after she said that, another knock, and then you see her eyes light up, and she goes, "Oh," and then you see her running out of the room.
She's like,
Yeah,
"Hi."
it was pretty
That
funny.
is awesome. I one of my kids is kinda like that, like, he's super interested in the paranormal, he's super like, "Let's go, I wanna go with you, I wanna go to these places with you," and then when stuff here happens, he's like, "Huh?"
Yeah. Well, what's funny is I took my wife now to the Omen house when we went back. She spooks easily, but we're down
Right.
there just before we started the session, and Sharon Tate session, and I told her there's a room right off the side where you walk in there and there's no wall. It's just the big side of the mountain, so it's exposed to the dirt. And I said, I want you to take this and go back there. And she doesn't cuss or anything. I said, and you gotta understand, it's dark here, right? So I want you to
Yeah.
take this K2 meter and I want you to go in that room by yourself. Without hesitation, she said, F you. So that was pretty
Okay.
funny.
Message received. Got it.
Yep. Oh,
Don't
yeah.
have to be psychic to understand what you mean.
So it was cute. We all started laughing at her, but it was
Does she come with you a lot?
no, that was the only one she's been on. So
No
well,
more. I'm good. I'm good.
it's hard because, well, she's in Thailand right now visiting her
Oh,
family, but my 84-year-old father lives here, and I kinda watch after him and take care of him. So,
yeah.
if I have to go out of town for a couple days, I need somebody to help him with the dogs and somebody to make sure he's okay.
It makes
So
sense. That
so
definitely makes sense. Do you prefer investigating, like, local hotspots, or do you prefer, like, the house, the at home, the, local residence is better? Like, do you have a preference?
we just started this. I really like visiting homes because it's more intimate and
Right.
it's more of a controlled environment. We've only done like a handful of them, but I enjoy every one of them because we're
Mhm.
always getting some kind of evidence in the homes. And I've done investigations where we spend hours and get nothing.
Yeah.
But the homes, when people actually want us to come and do their homes because they're feeling something, we usually get some good evidence there. I want to do more of those. I put it
That
out
sounds
there.
really cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's interesting.
D
I like doing places, that I've seen on TV too. If the opportunity arises, like the Goldfield Hotel with Nick Groff, and I've done the Goldfield High School. Those are things I also like to do because I've seen them on TV, and I want to find out for myself what evidence I could collect and see if it coincides with like what I've seen on TV. And the only one that I can honestly say that I had the same experience is we were at the Washoe Club, and,
I had a feeling. I had a feeling you were about to say that.
yeah. So Debbie Constantino, I don't know if you know who Mark and Debbie Constantino are, but they were a
The names sound familiar.
yeah, they were a big EVP team from Reno, and they were friends with Zach Bagans, and they were on his show a handful of times.
Mhm.
Well, long story short, I'm not gonna go into the details of the crime, but he wound up shooting her and then killing himself in a so
That's why it's familiar.
yeah.
I remember that.
And my friend and our team mentor, Jeff was friends with her. Janice Oberding. I don't know if you know Janice Oberding, but she was
No.
close friends with the Constantinos, and she was the one to help Zach get his start in the paranormal. So she's like
Mhm.
our mentor, and we sat at her house for 3 or 4 hours just talking about the Constantinos because she went across country with them. So there was a lot of
Right.
issues going on there. So anyways, the day I got up there early, so I went down in Reno and I visited Debbie's grave. It's actually a niece. She was cremated. So I visited her niece and I did a little Ovilus session there. And I got 2 words that were pretty to me, pretty relevant to the whole case. And one was
Mhm,
console and the other one was triangle. And the triangle, because there was a third person killed. Well, anyways, that night we did the Washoe Club and
mhm,
we're sitting around the card room table and I got my devices out and I start communicating and I'm asking Debbie, "Is this you?" Because that was one of her favorite places. She loved the Washoe Club. And everything just starts going nuts. And I'm asking, "Is this you, Debbie?" And like the Paralantern was like talking to me. Every time I'd ask a question, it would respond to what I was saying. Like, "Is this you, Debbie?" It'd light up and I say, "Is Mark here with you?" And it'd be silent. And I said, "Are you happy here?" And it'd start like just a normal session. And we were there and it got really intense because the communications kept coming. And I actually got up. That's another one. I got up and walked up to the ballroom and sat by the window because I was not feeling it. And a few
yeah.
minutes later, I walked back in. People are still sitting around the card room, and the gal that was there with us, she asked me a question, and the question pertained to nothing. It didn't have anything to do with what was going on around us. And as soon as she asked me the question, I just started crying. My tears running down my face, and I'm going, man, I don't know why. I just feel really sad. So long story short, I came back and like a couple months later, I was watching the episode the Ghost Adventures had done at the Washoe Club. Right in the same area. I was shocked. Right in the same area, the same emotions. Billy Tully was experiencing exactly what I had experienced there. I'm going, man, this is crazy. I started getting chills just watching the episode because I felt the same thing he's feeling right there. And they were also trying to communicate with Debbie Constantino. That was
Well, that's so funny because while you before you got to the crying and emotional, I started tearing up, and I was like, "Why am I tearing up?" So
Oh, yeah. It's if you should look into the story, it was very sad. And then Kelly and I, we went back a 3rd time, and we were just sitting in the card room by ourselves. This wasn't a big group, it was just us in there, and we're doing an EVP session. Play back the EVP, and it's a female voice that said, "Mark." And then Kelly starts asking, "Mark, are you here?" And I played the EVP back, and it said, "Michael," my name. I'm going, "What the heck?"
yeah.
So, I believe, in my personal opinion, from my experience, I believe she's there. I believe she wants to be there and she's happy there. The energy told me she was sad, but it may not have been her that's sad. It may have been something else. I don't know.
Yeah, I've done an episode on the Washi Club. I want to get out there. It is fascinating and beautiful, and the stories are there's a ton of them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've had experience where there's Jeff, Kelly, and I, that's my whole group. We're there by ourselves and we're
Mhm.
just in the hallway outside the card room and we're talking and we hear something. I said, "Stop, stop." And there's nobody in there. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. If you know Virginia City at 3 o'clock in the morning, there's nobody anywhere. It's just shut down.
Right.
After 8 o'clock, the town's pretty much shut down. And then down the hallway, you hear what sounds like boots walking on the wooden floor, just steps. And I'm going,
Oh my goodness.
oh my god, yeah, it was crazy, and then I got scratched in one of the rooms there, and
On the 3rd floor?
yeah, the scratch room, the one they call the scratch room,
Mhm.
but I opened myself up
Mhm.
to that. I said, "I wanna know you're here, I'm giving you permission to scratch me," and I didn't even know I got scratched until because I started feeling a burning on my neck right here, and I'm doing this in there.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and then so we go downstairs, and, like, a couple hours later, Kelly goes, "Let me see your back." And I said, "Why?" She goes, "I just wanna check out and see if anything happened up in that room," and then so I lift up my shirt, and she starts freaking out. I'm going, "What? What?" And I'm like this, and she's got her camera out. I'm like, "What?" Because she's freaking out, and she goes,
What?
"Be cool, I'm trying to get a picture." And I go, "But you're freaking me out right now, what?" So she took the picture, and there was 3 scratch marks going right down the center of my back. It looked like that, 3. And then what was weird
I was
about
gonna
that
say, was it 3?
Yep, and what was weird about that is Kelly's husband actually got scratched at their house, at Kelly's house one time. I mean, way before we went to the Washoe Club, and she showed me the picture of her husband's back, and it was almost identical, the even the way it was lined up as the scratches on my back. I'm go so we were kind of freaking out about that. I mean, they were almost perfectly it looked like it was made by this, just how it was. I mean, one line went like this and the other 2, and it was perfect. Almost identical to the same scratch marks I got at the Washoe Club. So
I don't like that. That's creepy.
and then the last time I was at the Washoe Club, there's a casino that's opened up down the road. It's a little, like those old 1800 bars, but there's a casino. They have coffee and
Mhm,
they do the bar food, like frozen pizzas and
mhm.
stuff. Everybody goes, hungry, we want to go get something to drink. And so at the Washoe Club, one person has to stay there because when you have to lock the door from the inside because when you're
Right.
done for the night, you walk out and you padlock it from the outside. You can't just leave it not locked. So I volunteered to stay there, and so I was locked in the Washoe Club at, like, almost 2 hours by myself. I'm walking around, and what was weird about that is when everybody was there, we were getting little bits of pieces of some, evidence and things going on, but when everybody left and left me there alone, it was quiet. I tried to do some investigating, it was just dead silence. I think the energy from the whole group there, they were feeding off
Mhm.
of that, and then when I was there by myself, I didn't get anything. But like I said, they were good. I got the video where I'm walking around doing a little video when I'm in there by myself. I enjoyed it
That's
actually.
that sounds really cool. I don't know if I would be able to do it, but it sounds very cool. Like a cool experience to say, "Hey, I hung out in the Washer Club by myself. Hmm,
Oh,
what
yeah.
did you do?"
Like I said, check out the video. I made a little video, like,
I will.
I'm walking all over the place in there by myself, and there's a couple times it gets eerie, and I can't lie, you get a little spooked sometimes, but it was just so quiet that after about 5 minutes in there, I was just, like, at ease. I was not feeling anything, so I got nothing to worry about now. I'm not feeling anything, and it was
That
just dead silent. It was like silence. No outside noise, no creaks, no it was weird, and then when everybody came back, we were there for, like, another hour or so, and we started getting a little bit more couple hits on things, but after
yeah.
that, it was very I
Yeah, they
enjoyed
could have been tired too, because
it.
I
Yeah.
know, like, my spirits like what's so funny is my spirits are not active in the nighttime. They are active during the day, and my other house was the same way.
People don't realize that you can actually do a paranormal investigation any time of the day. I think
Mhm.
for me, just the night and the darkness is better because it heightens your senses. I mean,
Yeah, true.
your senses are more heightened when it's dark and you're in a more quiet environment. Just like
Yeah.
Vegas here. I guarantee you anywhere you go in Vegas, any casino you go into in Vegas, you probably if you tried, you'd probably find paranormal. You'd probably get some paranormal evidence. It just so many people, so much going on, and it's just hard to try to do it. It's just like that's why we try to stay to specific rooms we can get into the room and do. Because we've done one at this old Oasis hotel here in Las Vegas. It's
Mhm.
a crap hole, old hotel. It is. It's right there in what they call Naked City. It's in between the Strip and Fremont Street. So that's like
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
not a good part of Vegas. 2 people had died in that room, like, within 4 months, famous people, and,
Oh.
I can't it's hard I can't remember that one of them was, 2 years youngest world championship of poker winner in the '80s. I forget his
Oh.
name, but he died he was found dead in that room, and then I don't know if you ever remember the sitcom Suddenly Susan with Brooke Shields? Well, one of the actors in there, the main actors in there, he was also found dead in that room, just 4 months apart. And I'm sorry, I don't have the
What's going
name,
on
but
in that room?
we went there and we did an investigation there. Got some SLS and some, paralantern activity, and we did it the Estes method, and that was kinda funny. So, but anyway, we were doing the Estes method, and it was just Kelly, myself, and another married couple, or I say another married Kelly and I aren't married, but a married couple, and we started doing the Estes method, and, sometimes I feel like I'm married to Kelly.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. I understand.
But, we're, the wife went into the bathroom and she had the headphones on the spirit box, right? And we're asking questions
Mhm.
and she wasn't really saying anything, nothing going on. And it was toward the end of the night, and we kind of get goofy toward the end of the night because we're tired and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep, slap happy.
somehow we got on the subject of boobs or female breasts, right? I don't know how we started it, but so the husband asked about his wife, is one boob the same as the other? And I mean, right after he said that, I, she shouted yes from the bathroom. would start laughing and stuff. So she had the headphones on, and yes, there's one boob like the other that she just and that's probably the only thing she said all night is just, "Yes." So that was kinda
That's
funny.
funny. My husband and I just got back from Boston a few weeks ago, and we did an Estes session, and we stayed in one of the most haunted hotels in Boston. And he's never done the Estes method before. And he's very scientific brain, very logical. He's not as skeptical as he used to be because he's married to me and it just kind of stuff happens all the time. And so he's gotten very comfortable with it. But I was like, "Hey, do you want to do the Estes method? We're in this haunted hotel. You want to do it?" And while we were walking around one of the cemeteries, I walked through somebody. Like you said, you can
You
feel
feel it.
it when it happens. And I was walking through this cemetery and it's like I was like, "Oh my god, I just walked right through somebody." And
Yeah.
so I was like, "I wonder if that person is here?" And so we started doing the Estes method and he started flirting with me. And I was like, "Can you hear me?" And he couldn't hear me, but he was like, "I aim to please." I was like,
That's crazy.
oh, and then he said something else, like, he started to tell like, "I have nice eyes," and other stuff, and he was under for, like, 17 minutes, and when I pulled him out, he was like, "What was that, 5 minutes?" I was like, "17," and he's like, "You're kidding." I was like, "No, I'm not
Yeah.
kidding." It
Yeah.
was good. It was fun.
I love cemeteries too, so I may not ghost hunt at the graves, but I'll do videos about certain like I did red foxes here in Las Vegas. And that one was crazy because I was just starting out and I was just
Mhm.
retired and I just had moved to Vegas. And I had my very first REM pod and I was out there at Red Fox's grave and I put the REM pod on his grave and it starts going crazy, just lighting up, it's chirping, it's making noises. I'm, "Well, what the heck?" So I took it off and it died and then nothing. I put it on the grave next to him, quiet. Picked it up, put it back on his grave and it starts going nuts again. So I pick it up and I put it on the grave on the top side of him, quiet, nothing at all. Pick it up, put it back. I tried all the graves around him and his was the only grave that the thing was going crazy on. So that was interesting.
And it's one of those things like, is there something under the ground just in that one
But
spot?
if it was like some kinda cable or energy under the ground,
Right.
why was it only his grave and not the grave in front of him or behind him or
Exactly.
sides of him? So the
Because
cable
it
had to
should
travel.
run.
Yeah, it should run one of the ways, so I that's
Oh, that's cool.
I can't explain it, but you think if there was something kinda energy running under there, it would have been going, but
Right.
it just on his headstone, it was just going nuts.
That is crazy. That is fascinating. I've never investigated at a cemetery. I've walked through them. My husband and I love to go to the really old ones
Yeah.
and just kind of, pay our respects and walk through and just read the gravestones because some of the years it's like your brain can't even comprehend how old some of the headstones are. And they're very peaceful and they're beautiful. Even though it's sad, people have lost their lives, it's still beautiful. It's like that completion of life. I don't know. I'm weird.
Well, my top of my bucket list to investigate is actually the battlefield of Gettysburg. That's my number
Yes.
one spot I wanna go to, and Kelly's from Pennsylvania, so I'll eventually wanna get back there with her and do the battlefield. I don't know how hard it
Yes.
is because it's actually a national park, I believe, but I'd like to get
I
out
don't
there.
it's not hard from what I understand from the people that I've talked to that I mean, you just go out there and you can just walk around and they said it just the energy is just
Yeah.
so strong everywhere out there.
Like I said, that's my number 1 on my list, and, but, so I do if you even do pet cemeteries, there's a pet cemetery right around the corner from my house, right? And there's this elephant, and it's you gotta look up Stony the elephant. It was a very
Okay.
sad ending to Stony, and
Aw.
I have a video on my YouTube channel that I made there, not investigating, but the story of Stony. So, it was very sad. When I was talking about it, it even brought tear. It pissed me off that how he was treated. So and he was at the Lexor. He was a performer at the Lexor, and
Ugh.
so, just yeah, I'm not gonna but anyway, so my son who lives here with me or not with me, but here in Vegas,
Right.
Kelly and I decided we're gonna go down there because the pet cemetery, you can walk in at any time of the night you want, we investigated the cemetery and mainly investigated Stoney's grave, and he was buried there in his entirety. He wasn't cremated or anything, but he was buried
Oh,
there.
whoa, big grave.
Yeah. So we're sitting there, my son and I, Kelly wandered off. My son and I are sitting there in the middle of the night, and it's winter, so it gets really cold here in Vegas.
Yes, it
And
does.
he had the K2 meter in his hand. I had my body cam going, and then all of a sudden, we both say we feel the temperature drop even colder. And I mean, it got really cold, and his K2 starts going nuts, right? So it just going crazy. Well, when I got back home, I reviewed the video from my body cam, and right when the K2 is going crazy and the temperature up, there's a mist that goes across the screen. I mean, there's a car headlight you can see the shot, like it's turning, and then a couple, I'd say 30 seconds later, this mist just comes across the camera. And my son, I took it and I took a still from the video and I sent it to my son and I sent it to Kelly. And my son says, I kind of see a face in this mist. And then Kelly sends me back with her artwork on there. She goes, I see an elephant. And then when I looked at Kelly's drawing or her, you can kind of see the trunk and the tusks and the ear. And it was like, I don't know if it was a
Oh,
mental image that she put in my head, but it kinda looked like an elephant coming floating backwards, you know? And people have said that they have seen Stoney at this cemetery just grazing.
oh,
Yeah, so
wow.
that was kinda weird. I have the video of the mist, and I have the
Mhm.
story I recorded of Stoney. You should check it out.
Wow. I'm not looking forward to the sad part of that, but I
It's
really want to see the mist. I mean,
yeah.
I have interviewed a lot of people and I've talked to a lot of people in the past 3 years, and that is a first for me, and that might be my favorite animal story.
Yeah, we didn't see the mist with our own eye. We saw the car
Right.
headlight turn, but we didn't see the mist. We didn't notice even the mist until after I got home and reviewed the footage, and it just kinda floated across the screen.
Wow.
So,
That is really cool. That is really cool. I'm definitely gonna go check that out. I have never seen a mist like that, I can honestly say.
oh, yeah, let me know what you think. Check it out and let me know.
I
I
will.
I like feedback on all my stuff.
Y'all go give them some feedback, some constructive feedback. All good, no negativity. Negativity sucks. Stay away from the
Oh,
negativity.
you can have like you can try to debunk it for me, and I don't take that personal.
Oh, absolutely.
I just don't want the nasty stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I know exactly what you mean. There's no reason for it. It's okay because, like, a lot of us, me included, because I'm not an investigator, but what I do, I would love an explanation or theories, and you can do it respectfully and with manners and be polite and not be like, you're so stupid. Blah, blah, blah. I was reading some comments on a Facebook video today, and people would post another stupid video, another, I'm just like, does that make you feel better?
Oh, it's
Like,
just like I don't get into politics, but it's just like reading all the
right.
political crap. Come on,
Yeah,
people.
exactly.
Come on, people, really? And it's both sides. Just come on.
Yep.
Stop with the nastiness.
Yes.
Why do we have to be like we've got different opinions. We don't have to
And
hate
that's
each other
okay.
for our opinions.
Say it again for the people in the back. Yes, I totally agree. I totally agree.
And I have friends that are on one side of the opposite side of what I'm on, but and even one of them's a college professor, and I know where she stands, and we can talk about politics, we can voice our opinions to each other, but in the end, we're still friends because our friendship
That's right.
means more than the political crap.
Right, you
And
respect each
yeah,
other as people.
exactly, exactly.
Yes, I completely agree. I
Um,
tell my husband all the time, like, he is my news. I don't watch the news. After working for the government as long as I did, I don't watch the news. I live in my little bubble, my little ignorant bubble. And it's not that I'm ignorant as stupid. I choose the ignorant bliss of it. I know what's going on in the world. I choose not to focus on it.
exactly, and I'm with you. Between the prison and the Marine Corps, I've got, like, almost 10 years working for the federal government.
You and me both. I was right at my 15 years, and when I announced that I was stepping down, people thought I was stupid. They were like, "Why? Blah 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 blah. It's the federal government. Your benefits. Blah blah blah." But I'm like, first, check your tone when you're talking to me. Second, when you're working in the federal court system, it takes a piece of you every single day. You are dealing with people. You're dealing with people. You're dealing with people on the worst day of their lives. My judgments would either take their house or take their freedom. That is heavy, especially for somebody who feels deeply. See, you know what? The people, most of these guys that were coming in are men and women, but a lot of them were men. They're not bad guys. They've made bad choices. And yeah, they've made them over and over and over, but still, they're not bad people. They're still people. But it's the families that are coming in and watching their son and brother or husband or whatever get taken away again. And by the time they're in feds, they're looking at 360 months and watching them calculate that number in their head. And when it hits them, it's 30 years. And then watching them fall apart, it was heavy day in and day out.
Well, I'm with you 100% because, like I said, I worked at the federal prison, and when I went to the
Yeah.
sheriff's department, I was in the jails. And, between the prison and the sheriff's department, I had 21, 22 years working inside a correctional environment, and
Mm,
it eats you alive, man. I started
yeah.
becoming a person that I wasn't happy with. I
Yeah.
started
I
not liking
completely agree.
I started not liking my coworkers. I became disgruntled. I
Hmm.
mean, it was just not the person I wanted to be, and I was just becoming a nasty, disgruntled person. And
Yeah.
then when I retired, I mean, I had to do a year of decompressing, but now
Yes.
I don't have to deal with it. I got a whole different outlook on life. I'm not mad at the world anymore. I'm not angry anymore.
Hmm.
That kind of environment just took a toll on me, man. It was not good for my health or my psyche. And I
No.
didn't realize that until after I left, and kind of feel bad for what I put all my coworkers through when I was there, you
Ah,
know?
they're all right. They're all right. Well, I had a doctor tell me once, she's like, "At what point?" Because the stress, when you're in the courtroom, and I mean, it's just it's a lot of stress. You're dealing with judges, you're dealing with attorneys, you're dealing with the Bureau of Prisons, you're dealing with the U.S. Marshals, you're dealing with the different federal agencies, and you're the face of the courtroom until the judge takes the bench. So you're the middleman. And I was really sick, and I had a doctor look at me and said, "At what point are you gonna decide that this isn't worth it?" And it took me years because most people just can't leave their job. You know what I mean? Like for years, there was no way. I was a single mother for 7 years. I had to work. It was a saving grace. It was a blessing. It got me through some of the hardest times of my life. And I was so blessed. I started at 25. I had just turned 25 years old when I started working for the court. And my deciding factor when I left was I had almost 15 years in, and I had to work another 22 to get my retirement. And I was like, this isn't worth it. I can't do this another 15 years. I can't do this 22 more years. Like, yeah, I can stay and I can have great benefits and whatever, but is that worth it for another 22 years when I could do something else that makes me happy?
So that's why I'm glad I went to the sheriff's department because my benefits and my retirement was actually better than the Federal Bureau of Prisons.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So
Interesting.
so we I know we got off topic there, but
That's okay. We're people, and this is a conversation, and my dog is, like, having, like, a I don't know what she's, like, pushing my chair swivels, and every time she jumps up, I'm like a second ago, she was under the chair scratching her butt, and I was, like, trying to keep myself from twirling. So, okay, so last question. I love to learn about what people love to investigate with because it's always different for every investigator. What is your, like, go-to piece of equipment? What can't you live without?
honestly, I like my Paralantern. I've got one big one and I got 3 small ones because it seems like I get more communication with that
Mm.
and then a lot of the other things. The spirit box is okay, but you get a lot of radio interference depending on where you are, the broadcast channel
Right.
because it's on the same frequency.
Mhm.
And I really love EVPs. I get excited when I capture an unexplained Class A EVP because you
That's
can't
cool.
explain it. You got no outside noise. So those are my 3 go-to, and I just bought about 6 months ago the tripwire, and that's along the same lines as the Paralantern, except it's individual EMF detectors on one
Mhm.
long cord, and they light up individually or all together, depending on the energy. Those are my favorite.
That's cool. I love the chords. I love, like, when I'm watching investigations and you can
Yeah.
see it move.
Yep.
And I also love EVPs. I also love to become an EVP because your girl is not an investigator, and I whisper because I, like, talk to myself and something happens, and I'm like, "Oh my god." And then the guy I'm on an investigation with is like, "I got this really cool
"Oh,
EVP,"
check
and I'm
this
like
out." Oh, yeah, that's
and I'm
happened
like,
to me
"Oh,
too.
oh, honey, that was just me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at this."
That's why you listen to it, and every piece of evidence you get, you've got the first thing you wanna do is try to debunk it.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, if I'm ever around and I whisper, "Sorry, it
but
was
now
me."
that's with me. If I get something and my first train of thought is trying to debunk it because I wanna know what this
Mhm.
I got so many fall with my I just bought the XLS camera and I haven't used it that much, but with the SLS camera, I've gotten so many false false
Yeah.
readings from it. So the first thing, if I get a reading from it, I try to debunk it. Like at the Washoe Club, I kept going back in the card room, and then the same spot, I'd always get this figure, and it just pop up. And then, so about the third time I went in there, I go, "No, this can't be right." So I tried, figured it out was an exposed beam behind the table that I was mapping, and not really anything. So I
Yeah.
just debunk, try to figure it out first before if I can't
That's
figure
I
it
think
out.
that's it's the best way to go. I've been trying to figure out the knocks. Like, I'm like, "Somebody please explain to me the knocks in my attic because 'cause I'm in an attic."
Mhm.
And I'm like, I wanna know the knocks because they're in the bonus room and they're in here, and every once in a while, I'll hear them in my bedroom, and my son will hear them in his bedroom. The girls are oblivious. They hear nothing, nothing.
Wow.
They are just like, "La di da di da."
And
But, like,
you don't have any raccoons or anything that run around in there or anything?
no, and so where I am in here, so this is a ceiling right here, and so this was, like, one of the, like, attic spaces off the bonus room with a full door. What we did was we this was already framed because this is technically the roof. I'm in the roof,
Oh, okay.
and we put insulation here, like, really thick insulation, and then we put thick sheetrock, yeah, that's that stuff, and my husband used spray foam to fill all the holes.
Oh, nice.
So, like, I'm literally just between I'm right under the shingle, so I'm like, something truly can't be moving around right over my head."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, "What is it? What is it?" And I'll ask it, I'm like, "Hey, can you knock?" And then I'll hear, "Donk," and I'm like, "Okay." Would love an explanation because it's a lot, and it's like, this can't all be paranormal. There's no way this is all paranormal, but I don't have any explanation.
And actually, paranormal is a bunch of things that you can't
Right.
explain, like when somebody asks me, "What is it?" I go, "I can't tell you what it is. I can just show you the evidence, and you gotta go from there. I can tell you what I
Yeah.
got, but because honestly, we're never gonna figure out what it is. We're never gonna know for sure.
No.
All we can do is gather the evidence, try to debunk the evidence, and go from there. I mean, we have a whole bunch of unexplained situations that happen when we do this, but that's pretty much all ghost hunting is a whole bunch of
Yeah.
unexplained situations. And people
Yep.
ask me, and I said, honestly, I can't tell you. I can
I
show
wish I
you.
could.
I can tell you what my opinion of it is, but I can't tell you what it is. We'll never know, honestly.
Never
It's
know.
very interesting and it's exciting when you do get pieces of evidence that you can't explain.
Yep, it is, it is, and I love the idea of investigating, but I don't. If I'm invited and I can, I go because it is I like to just see what I experience. I have some tools, but if I go with people, I have a REM pod, and I might bring that, and it is very exciting. I enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah, and like I said, and the more I do it, the more I start feeling, and the emotions are just within a year. The energy I felt from the get-go, like at the Tonopah, that was just by accident. I think it was like one of those things where he didn't whatever it was, didn't realize I was walking there, and we just kinda bumped into each other, you know what I'm
Whoops.
saying? Yeah, and, but just it's hard to explain. I mean, the emotions is relatively new to me, and I just wanna experience a happy emotion, which you never experience. It's usually angry or sad.
Yes, that is very true. When I experience them, I'm either crying. It's usually crying.
Yeah.
It's usually crying, let's just be honest. I'll just start crying and "Why are you crying?" "I don't know."
No, and there's been a few times where I've broke out in tears and you have no explanation for it, so
None.
but the
It's
energy I can
like
walk into a room and I tell Kelly all the time, I go, "I can feel something in here." You can just feel the
mhm,
energy, and
mhm.
the more I do it, I think the more my sensitivity to it becomes enhanced because I'm
Mm,
feeling a lot more nowadays than I felt when I
mhm.
first started.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you completely. The longer, well, I'm also trying to exercise my muscles, my spiritual muscles, but the longer you do it, I do believe the more you're open, the more it will open up to you. And it's like I have some friends that do podcasting and one says if you look into the void looks back, or you look into this long enough, it's going to look back at you.
Mhm. Definitely.
So, well, this was fantastic. Thank you so much.
Oh, no,
Tell
thank you.
everybody where they can find you, and then I'll have everything linked as well.
Yeah, you can find me on, Las Vegas Soul Searcher, my Facebook page. So, YouTube and TikTok, Las Vegas Soul Searchers, and you can search us, and you'll find it. And you don't have to have all 3 because I kinda put the videos out there, one here, here, and here. So you can go to either one and find them. TikTok, YouTube, the same videos. I just do different formats. Facebook, I got this little persona I call Z the Ghost Hunter. So I'm always doing pictures of him in different situations. So, but yeah, just Las Vegas Soul Searchers on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook.
Well, thank you so, so much. I truly appreciate your time, and I can't wait to go and check out your videos and see what comes next for you.
And
I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be watching.
by all means, give me some feedback and let me know what you think.
I will. I
I want
definitely will.
I want more of that. So if you're out there and you're listening and you do go look at it, at least give me some feedback. I don't need to get near enough that I want. So I'm putting
Yep.
it out
Well,
there for you guys too.
I was going to say, you just put it in the universe. Hit watch out. Ready or not, it's going to come to you.
I hope so. I'm waiting.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. And everybody, until next time, they'll see you later.